Hello and welcome back. And I think I can say welcome back to my internet connection. And I can also say welcome back to beer because I had 3 beers last night. And those are the first beers I've had in almost 2 years. And I was a bit concerned about waking up this morning, but I didn't have a hangover. And the reason why I am going to drink a few beers every so often in the next couple of weeks is because I'm going back to Vietnam in a couple of weeks, and their national sport is not football or anything else, it's drinking beer. And so I have to get back into the habit so that I can participate in their national pastime for a few weeks. Anyway, on to tonight. I still have 1 beer left for tonight, so I'll probably have that with a nice Cornish pasty later on after the stream. Good to see you, reckons. Yes, keep going with that, and hopefully you will be able to say I've run a marathon, and that is one heck of an achievement. I did have a friend way back who was into running half marathons, but he did eventually complete a marathon, and he was very proud of himself, and so he should be. So yeah, good luck with that, mate. Keep it going, keep training. It's all about training. It's all about pacing yourself as well, so he tells me. So I would feel very proud if you complete that, mate. Well done. And tonight we are going to finish off this Tottenham rebuild. And we've done our best. And the goal was to get into the top 4. And we are sitting in 4th. We're not going to get any better than 4th. Manchester City are 10 points in front of us in 3rd, just 3 games to go. So it's all about 4th. Aston Villa are in 5th. They are 5 points behind us on 64 points. And Arsenal are 7 points behind us in 6th. Chelsea probably can't overtake us at this point. We can discount Chelsea because they are 9 points behind with 3 games to go, and we have a much better goal difference. I'm like I often will go back to this screen when thinking about how a season has panned out. And I started off FM24. I remember thinking, in FM24, you have to defend. With all the new attacking movement that they put into the game, I really was concerned at the beginning of the new version that defending would be difficult. And so I set out to figure out how to defend. And I always look at this screen, the team stats at the end of the season. And as you can see, in terms of goals conceded, we are 2nd best. And that is what it's all about for me. It's about, if you defend well, then the attack will look after itself. And we have defended extremely well again. And we've conceded, and we are the 2nd best defence in the Premier League. Unfortunately, though, in terms of our attacking potential, maybe I will, reckons. Maybe I will. Good evening, Andy. Good evening, sir. How are you? And so, if we look at these 2 things in particular, we've done extremely well in terms of being the 2nd best defensive team in the league. I feel quite good about that because the way that we set up, that I've always set up defensively in FM24, and I did videos on how to defend, and that's justification of those videos that I did. Where we've been let down is up front. And with all the big name players that we've had, we haven't scored enough goals, and we've only finished really in 8th best, and that's not good enough. And if you're going to win titles, you have to be 1st best or 2nd best. There's no other way to look at that, but we've underachieved in terms of the attacking part of the game. Defensively outstanding, but attacking wise pretty poor. Possibly due to decisions that I've made, possibly panic moves that I've made. I felt that I had to change the tactic as the season progressed. It wasn't working. But I don't know if that's down to me or whether that's down to the game. I really, at this point in time, I really don't know. Rugby training with your son. What you have been training, Andy, or your son has been training alone. I miss those days of rugby training, I have to admit. I do miss playing sport. It was a big part of my life, playing rugby, cricket, football, and when you get older, it's a part of your life that you miss. I actually gave up playing football when I was 55, and I decided that my body could no longer keep up with the younger element, and 55 was when I finally stopped playing football. So not you, Andy, in particular then. So today we've got a run in here. We've played our difficult games as far as I can see. We got last time out, you remember, we got a 0-0 draw. It's all been about draws of late. 0-0 against Aston Villa, drew 2-2 against Brighton, 1-1 against Chelsea. These were two big results. Manchester City 2-2. Coming back from 2-0 down, which was an exceptional performance in the end. And I think that was the game where I changed the tactic. I'm not quite sure. I just put them in the most bizarre shape and came back from 2-2. It's part of the game that I want taken out because we should never have come back putting them in a bizarre formation, but it certainly seemed to confuse Manchester City, confused me, confused the fans, confused the chat, and confused everybody, and we managed to pull it back. But then we beat Arsenal by 2-1. And I think by compacting the midfield a little bit, by putting more players in midfield, it's made us a little bit more solid at the back. I'm still not happy with the way we're attacking. These are big name players and we're not scoring enough goals. This is the team that we're going to put out today against Crystal Palace, and we are going to start very much in a balanced perspective. The idea again is not to lose, and I think that if we don't lose, then that's all I need to get to top four. We just don't lose any of these three games, so we'll start it balanced and we'll deal with issues as they arise, and they will. In terms of our injuries, we do have a couple of injuries currently. Pedro, complete waste of money as a forward. He has a broken collarbone and he's going to miss the rest of the season, as well as Sarr, who has a lower back stress fracture. Is expected to be back in a week, but probably not going to be playing much of a part in the next 3 weeks. We're just going to send this team out as we've done for the past few games, and it's a fairly simple tactic that we're playing now. It's just basically we're going to have a winger on this side, an inside forward on this side coming inside here. We're going to have a wing back, hopefully, supporting him up the left. But this inverted wing back, the Pedro Porro role coming into these positions and hopefully causing problems. We'll have a centre mid then bursting forward. And we're going to have a DLP and a ball-winning midfielder at the base. But the ball winner today on a support instruction, because I do want to get players as forward as we can. And so let's get on with the game. I would love your thoughts, guys, on how the Premier League unfolded. And there's an interesting result. Manchester City 4, Manchester United 3. Manchester United, who were running away with the title at one point, have now been taken over by Liverpool. Manchester City seem to have secured the third place spot now. So what are your thoughts on how the Premier League turned out? For me, it was just a little bit disappointing. West Ham really didn't start very well and didn't really resist Manchester City very much. And as a result, Manchester City scored early, went 2-0 up. And then at that point, everybody was saying, okay, West Ham need 2 goals and Arsenal need 2 goals. And it seemed pretty much done. But Arsenal and West Ham scored at around the same time. And interestingly, it got a bit interesting then, because 1 goal was needed by both teams to change things. And it got a bit interesting at that point. But unfortunately for me, City scored again. And, oh, stop it, Son. What is the matter with you? You're nervous about your battle with a Crystal Palace defender. I don't believe it, FM. And, no, we don't do Never Press. But I do need to go back to him. And, yeah, he's made a lot of changes there. And so it was, for me, a little bit flat. I was hoping for the big dramatic finish, but it didn't happen. Chelsea are looking for a new manager tonight. Oh, interesting. And Liverpool have announced their new manager. I can't remember his name now. I'm thinking of doing a tactic video on him just to see how Liverpool might play out next season. He has an interesting style. It's very Liverpool based, I think. Arne Slot, that's the boy. Hello, Ben. The beer. Well, I didn't wake up with a hangover, Ben, which is good. In fact, I didn't feel that it had affected me at all. Last night I was a bit giddy after the 3rd one, but I didn't feel like it affected me at all this morning. So all is good. I just have to do that a couple more times in preparation, in training for the big event, and then we will be okay, I think. Do I want to keep saying these things, or do I want to do something different here? I'm going to say our recent... I need a strong defence today. And let's go out there, dominate. I'm going to tell them I expect to win today. So Arne Slot will be an interesting one. He does the press, but he doesn't do it with 1 forward. He goes into a 4-4-2 formation when he's pressing. So I think the tactic would need to have Besa maybe on a 4-2-3-1 with a shadow striker. I don't know. I'll have to try and figure that out. How he might play that, and might be quite interesting to try and figure out how Liverpool might play next season under this guy who I just really didn't consider who would be the Liverpool manager. I hear Newcastle, Ben, are actually thinking of getting a new manager themselves. Is there any truth to that rumour? Oh boy. I'm only jesting with you. I do think that Eddie Howe has done an absolutely fabulous job at Newcastle. So, good evening, Mobile Gamer. How are you? Hope you are well. So nothing really much has happened in this game so far. It's been pretty dire. What is surprising me is for comprehensive highlights, the lack of highlights that we see. And I can't understand why that's been of late. Is it because I'm playing boring football now? This controlled possession. Bournemouth let you down. Oh, nice one. Oh, my Lord, I thought we were going to take the lead there. Yeah, long time no see. I hope you're well, Mobile Gamer. I hope everything is going well. You're very quiet there, Reckons. You must be exhausted, are you, after your marathon training? Andy, I think there was a time when I used to Google funny one-liners. I think that's what you're doing, are you? Do you Google these? And, another defensive error almost gifts Crystal Palace with a goal. And it is Mickey van der Ven. And it's always Mickey van der Ven who's making errors for me. I find FM quite bizarre, really, because he is probably the best defender that we have. But it's always Mickey van der Ven that is making errors. And I find that quite strange. And at the moment, though, it's pretty much nothing happening. We've set out to not lose, and at the moment that is what is happening. Defensively, that is how we are set up, and attacking-wise, we don't really have much of a threat. The Rain Man of one-liners. You certainly are. So at the moment, it's very dire. And there's a blank screen for pretty much the... I'm going to go... I mean, I don't think that we have not created anything, neither of Crystal Palace. And the game is like totally even. And I really don't know if I should... let's just up the ante to positive and see if we can't start creating a chance or two. Hey Simon, how you doing? But at the moment it's pretty dire. How is this affecting the table? What are Aston Villa up to? Well, Aston Villa are not doing very well. Arsenal are winning. And it does look to me like Aston Villa are losing. I can never find these teams in this list. Aston Villa are not playing, so at the moment a point is not going to be enough. Villa will obviously play later. But it's difficult to know what's... Oh, the camera's right there. We're going to have a look at what's going on. Pretty much, as you can see, most of the games played in midfield. Crystal Palace are defending deep. We're trying to push them forward as much as we can, but they are playing very deep. So actually attacking them might not be the best thing to do. So I might actually come off that, go back to balanced. May even, just after a while, I might even bring the lines back. We will take his advice now. Step up. Let's keep going. Son now on a 6.4. But I'm going to tell him that I have faith in him. I'll lie to him again. And I might change one or two of the roles. Let's change one or two of the roles. We need to do something a little bit here. Let's put Maddison up into this position. Let's go for it. Let's just go for it for a while. And I'll now put him on a defend duty, just for cover. And we'll try and get some forward momentum going here. I will ask him to play as a shadow striker, and we'll drop the deep lying forward down. Let's try and create some chances and catch them early if we can. No, you haven't missed any games. You've missed nothing at all. In fact, I don't think there's been a highlight, Callum. I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Yeah, mobile gamer, it's like, I can't understand this. He's like my best defender, and he's always the one who makes the mistakes. So sometimes FM is FM. And, you know, like players like Son, Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, they're always on a 6.5, 6.4. It never changes. That is always the same. And yet, Maddison is one of those, and he's got an average rating of over 7. He's the only one. So how does he get an average of over 7 when he is always getting a 6.4 or a 6.5? It's like really difficult to figure this out sometimes. And you can see that we are taking a few more risks now as they are going to counterattack. And I think what I'm going to do is I want them to come out a bit, because they are defending deep. And I think I might come back into a mid-block in a minute, just to see if that will help us. But it doesn't matter, because finally Son has put us 1-0 up. And just maybe changing things has done the trick. Hey Piotr, how are you doing? I'm pretty good. Play friendlies in North Korea. He must have heard you, Andy. He must have heard you. So we are. I mean, I'm thinking if we win this, I would say it's pretty much job done, because I'm not sure Villa can overtake us really from this point. They're going to have to win all their games. They have a tougher run in than we do, and we're going to have to pretty much lose both for Villa to overtake us from this stage. Let's just check how... Oh, we can't yet. But it's nice to have that goal now. And obviously I did need to change something. I did need to go a little bit more attacking, and it paid off. And it is, for me, this game is sometimes an enigma, because these are changes that I will make. Pretty standard changes that I make, and if you follow along with me, you'll see the changes that I make and the logic that I use to do it. But sometimes during a season, any changes that you make will have no effect. And that's like when it'll work for 15 or 16 games, and then suddenly any changes that you make has no effect. And that never makes any sense to me. Why do they stop playing? And I did have a conversation with someone about this very thing. Why they just stop playing. And he was a little confused about why your team suddenly just can't play anymore. And they are coming back into this, so I am going to drop back into a more balanced approach now. I may even fill up the midfield again. Because while we've caught them, we're allowing them a lot of space. So I'm going to go back and fill up the midfield again. We'll keep him on a defend duty, and we'll have the DLP back in here. And now as the theory behind that is, as they are a goal behind, they're going to have to attack us. We'll defend well and then hopefully catch them on the break. So I will alter the instructions again in a minute and get them to stop pressing. Although I don't think we are pressing at the moment. But some players do need to be replaced. Health-wise, we look okay. We're in good shape. But again, Kulusevski 6.4, 6.5 for Johnson. Neves 6.6. It's attacking players are not playing well enough. Haven't for the entire season. But as I've said many times in FM24, you have to defend well. And if you've defended well all season, then you will do well. And as we are second best in the league, it's justified we're in the top 4. I'd like another goal though, boys, if you can manage it, to help your manager be a little bit less nervous. Just dominating the game is not enough. We need to score, and this has been the story of the season. I think now it's time to make a couple of changes. I do want to go to do this again. Lots of hard tackling going on here. And these 3 Herberts need to come off, I think. We can bring Bentancur now. Actually, let's give Lo Celso a little run out. And up here, Timo Werner maybe. For that idiot. Brennan Johnson can probably just go another few minutes just to see if he can't improve. But for big names, I'm a bit disappointed at their ratings. I think there's only about 6 of them over 7, averaging over 7. And yeah, I wonder what it would look like. I do this tactic testing, and there's another one coming for the weekend, hopefully. Spencer's tactic will be coming this weekend. And when I run it, Spurs very often win the title because of their attacking prowess. Why am I not seeing it? It's the FM thing, isn't it? That if you manage Manchester City, Haaland will get injured. That's the first thing that will happen. Because you're not meant to have someone who's going to score tons of goals for you, only against you. It's an FM thing, that. But this is good from Werner. Unlucky son. That was nice, but unfortunately, our shooting continues. I mean, here it is. 7 shots, only 2 on target. Callum, I started FM24 thinking, with all the new attacking movement, how on earth are we going to defend this? And people were saying at the beginning of the new version that the most common scoreline was 4-3, and the people were just like conceding a ton of goals. And I kind of like tried to work that out, and I think overall I've realized that defending is probably more important than attacking in FM24. So Bentancur can come in there. Let's just save one. Yeah, there are some very strange things about FM24, Callum, I've got to admit. Seventh season, how has the rebuild worked out, Tails, in terms of your Tottenham save? I mean, I've got to be fair. First season, you got to say 4th is a good result. 5th would be poor, but for this Tottenham team, I would say 4th would be a good result. So can't be displeased. But it's results like this. We're not getting... The forwards are not scoring goals, and this is what I can't understand. Son is tired, but I don't think there's much I can do about him. So let's get this second goal, boys. what I want to do is, for the remainder of the game, I just want to type mark Elise. And maybe it's time now to take off Pedro Porro. He's going to play as a wing back on defend now. I don't need him to be going too far forward. 5 Prems in a row, 3 FA Cups and 3 Champions Leagues. Not a bad record, I have to say. And I need to start closing this game down bit by bit now, if we can. Just like interesting that, what am I doing here? As an attacking threat, Palace have not been much of a threat at all. But that's always very dangerous. Oh, hit the post again. I've noticed in FM, apart from the chopping that goes on, I've noticed in FM, if you hit the post or hit the bar, it's never offside. It's always, yeah, we'll slow it down. It's quite incredible, actually, how it's never offside if you hit the bar or the post. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Let's pull the line back a little bit. We don't need that anymore. Come on now, do something good. Oh, I said do something good, not give the ball away. Like, Florian Wirtz, Evan Nielsen, good players in FM. Kobe Mainu, I've heard, goes on to do very well in FM. Yeah, Vicario is decent enough. Tails, I think, yeah. If I was going on with this Spurs team, I think I'd just want to bring in an entirely new forward line. I think midfield and defence is extremely good. I think the evidence is telling me we just don't score goals. And I think probably I should have sold Son at the beginning of the season because he's just not delivered. And that's an FM thing, that when you battle to keep these top players, they never perform for you then. You might as well let them go. Come on, boys, I need this second goal. That's not it. But they've looked better in the second half. Although that it's not anything better. We've looked better. We've kept the ball from them. We just don't want to give away a goal now. Wing back on that side wasn't doing his job, but nicely done. Let's just keep the ball. I've said no dribbling now. Maddison has somehow managed to get himself to a 7.5. I'm not quite sure how he's managed to do that, but yeah, I think that's an error I made. I think Son should have been sold, and I think the game tries to tell you that, and I decided he's too good a player, and maybe I should have sold him. I'd have got 90 million for him. We could certainly find a player to take his place for 90 million. And I think Son would go, if I was continuing, Son would go. I mean, a number of those players up front would go. I'd probably keep Maddison at the end of the day because he did okay. But players like Kulusevski, nah. Johnson, no. Sell them. There are better players in FM out there than those. And all we've got to do now is hold on. So let's really close it down now. Let's get really compact. We'll go into a mid. And we'll close the game down now. Offside, Sam. No, not given. Yes, it was. Oh, for sure, Simon. I'm absolutely certain that you'll sell Son. The players you don't want to sell, or you think you don't want to sell really easy. And that's it. We have beaten them. I mean, in all fairness, hammered them. Not being at our best, but we got the result. I'll go along with that. And what does that mean now? It means that if Aston Villa win, they will go to 67 points. Arsenal cannot catch us. And I'm going to presume that Aston Villa will go to 67. So we will need only 1 point, pretty much. That's what it means. That game against Arsenal was a very, very big game. And I think we had to make a lot of changes in order to achieve that result. So that turned out to be a very big game. We have qualified for the Europa League. Oh, I've been paid a bonus. Have I? Very nice. I got a bonus. Is that in my contract? I got a bonus of 165. Nothing in my clause there, in my contract. That's very kind of them. There's nothing in the contract itself. I've just been paid a bonus. Very nice too. Qualify for the Europa League passed. So we are on the way. And Chelsea, Liverpool. Where's the Aston Villa game? Have they played yet? No, still not played. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. The title is already won by Liverpool. Nottingham Forest we should be beating. Especially as we are at home. And what I might do for Nottingham Forest is actually go back to what we were doing. And we'll put Shadow Striker in here. I do always feel that this asymmetric system works. It just seems to work better than having two closer together. I don't know why it works, but just seems to work. So we will start a little bit more positive. I think we are at home, so we got to take the game to them. I'm not really interested in scouting, as this is a one-season rebuild. Kulusevski, but I mean, am I worried about him? Not really. He'll be fit anyway. may run down contract if not sold. So he's going to go in the winter anyway, in the summer anyway. Santiago is injured. João Neves. That is praise recent form. What for? So I think we just want to... I will be having one tonight, Andy. I'll be having a pasty with a beer later on. I've got some pasties in the fridge. Okay, I'll go along with that, actually. Maddison on the wing, Lo Celso as the attacking mid, and Timo Werner on the left. I'll go along with that, because the others have not been performing at all. So I'll go along with the assistant on that. Hot or cold? The beer or the pasty? It'd be a cold beer and a hot pasty, Andy. So we need a point, I think, do we? To Aston Villa, have they played? Yeah, they're 5 points behind. We need a point. So maybe positive is not the best way to play. We have defied expectations. Well, yeah, I think that Chelsea have become a very good team in the second half of the season, and possibly down to the form of Cole Palmer, but they have become a very, very good team, and I'm surprised to hear that news that he's gone. I just felt that Chelsea were settling into a very decent team, and if they continue to do what they were doing, add a couple of signings, they don't need much. I think they would go next season. They would pretty much be a force in the Premier League. I find that quite strange how they've. Yeah, maybe that's what it's about. But a team needs time to gel. And, I don't know. Have Villa still not played their game in hand? Yes, they have. So, who are Villa playing today? Oh, they're in the Europa Conference League semi-final. They're in the final now. And they're playing Sheffield United and Burnley. Their running is just as is better than ours. But they do have those midweek games to contend with. I actually think that it might be a good idea not to be so attacking. That it might be a little bit more prudent. Goalkeeper injured. Have I got another goalkeeper? Might be a little bit more prudent just to start the game. I mean, we just need not to lose. So let's just go into the game with the attitude, let's not lose. So I think that might be a little bit. So Kulusevski for Lo Celso is a good idea, of course. No, I'm going to start balanced. We're not going to change much. Kulusevski as the DLP. Don't know, does that make any sense? He can't play there. But Maddison is probably a best bet, and then we'll put Kulusevski up there. We'll go along with that. And it does look like they are going to attack us. Timo Werner is only a 2-star player in this team. I wonder if I put Son on the wing. Timo Werner still only... We could play him as a pressing forward. Let's try that. Let's give that a try. I mean, I don't think Pochettino... Hey, Stuart, how are you doing? I don't think that Pochettino has done that bad a job, in all fairness. Unlike Ten Hag, for example, who has been a nightmare and has had no plan on how to play, unfortunately. So let's get out there and get a result. We don't want to go into the... We don't want to go... Oh, I've been telling them to get out there. I've been telling them to get out there and have some fun. I might have screwed things up there. Wrong button. Well, that's certainly taken the pressure off them anyway. It's just not something that I ever tell my teams, is to go out there and have some fun. I think we might have to watch for complacency a little bit. Well, if I've told them to go out and have some fun, I suppose I should get them to play more positively than I'm actually getting them to play. But I really don't... Just set the team up not to lose, because we only need a point and we're there. We can attack later if necessary. If we're dominating the game, we'll attack later. But just give me that point. There's no way that Villa are going to turn the goal difference around. Oh, chance. Oh, should have hit it first time, you idiot. Why didn't you take a snapshot at that? But we are the better team at the moment, and sometimes you don't need to be attacking to attack. Strange thing to say. But sometimes just defense is the best form of attack. Let them come to you. And there it is, and Son has put it away. And that could mean Champions League football. And what is interesting is that we haven't lost for about 10 games now. We started the season like this, but in the middle of the season we couldn't win to save our lives. Just like this FM needs tidying up. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Stuart, but I can understand. I've always said Andy Son has been the best player in this team. Always said it. Couldn't do without him. But I think Andy is right, Stuart. I mean, I think Chelsea want success straight away. And if you don't give it to them, you're off. And I think Andy's right. That's a sad part of the game these days. You at least have to get to the Europa League, minimum. And if you don't achieve that, you're on your bike. I think we made the right choice there not to attack them, not to go into the 4-2-3-1, but to stay with a good midfield, good presence in midfield, and just make sure we didn't lose. I think that was the correct decision. And as long as Van de Ven doesn't go making mistakes again at the back, then we should be okay. One of the things that I don't like Van de Ven doing is closing down. I think a lot of his mistakes come from closing down. So let's tell him to ease off and ease off the tackles. Just don't close down so much. Any trophies? Well, have I had any trophies, Stu, at this in FM24? About 26, I think, so far. And in fact, after this is done, on Thursday we will... Is it Tuesday today? Yeah. On Thursday, we will be beginning or carrying on with Coritiba in Brazil. We need to win the Libertadores. I think he was offside, actually. Yeah. So we need to win the Libertadores this year, because I've got to go and win the European Championship in that save as well. So we need to get on with that and win the third major trophy throughout the world. So that's going to be quite interesting. Can we do it this season with Coritiba? Because I've got to go to Europe after Brazil and win the Champions League there. And that's not going to be done in a season. So as FM25 will be approaching soon. And finally it's 2-0. And that should be Champions League. Yeah, so, I mean, I've won trophies basically because whatever team I've managed, I've made sure they're the best defensive team. And that's how I've approached FM24. Just defend well and let the forwards look after themselves. Yeah, I think... If I was staying on at Tottenham, Son would definitely be leaving. Definitely be leaving. And this Nottingham Forest team have not really bothered us so far. Touch wood. Touch wood. And it just goes to show that you don't have to be attacking to win games. Just defend well, the rest will look after itself. A youth challenge with Gibraltar Club. That'll be difficult. But imagine how you'll feel when it works out. Coming off the press with this Tottenham team has worked a treat. Since I came off the press, we haven't lost a game. And that press in FM24, the counter press, is such a dangerous thing to do. It's one of the most dangerous things you can do. So always in FM24, you've got to make sure that you've got a team who can counter press. And since we've come off the counter press, we haven't lost a game. Let's have a look at how Villa are getting on, if they're playing. Yeah, see, they're not playing again. They must be playing later, tomorrow maybe. But if we win this, if we win, we're home and dry anyway. Nice to see these boys playing well. And that's just got to remember that I actually told them before the game, go out and have a bit of fun. Maybe I should have been telling that all season. Just go out there and have some fun. Just like really weird. Son is having his best game of the season. Penalty ref. What? Well, that's a foul. But referee, Son was taken out. You could clearly see it. Not a single key pass has been issued by the Nottingham Forest team up to this point in time. Not a Spurs fan, but I wouldn't take a manager. But no, this probably best not to. I mean, clubs have tried it with Mourinho. I think a couple of teams have tried it with Mourinho, taking him back. Is it a good thing? You've sacked him previously, and then you want to offer him his job back. It's like saying you've made an error, and possibly you have, but you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to say, yeah, we were dreadfully wrong last time. We should never have sacked you. Timo Werner, though, again, he's like an idiot, that boy. I honestly have thoroughly enjoyed the way Spurs have played this year. Absolutely enjoyed the way they have played. Unfortunately, they've run out of puff. We're ahead on the scoreboard, and we deserve to be. Most of them are playing well. We don't need to panic. I think he lacks strength in depth. Spurs, if anything, don't have the strength in depth. And whilst they have a squad of decent players, they don't have what Manchester City have got, what Arsenal have got, in that very, very good players who can come on and replace players who are injured. And I think that's the problem for Spurs. And because he plays the same team week in, week out, then they run out of puff. And I think that's what's happened. Because he plays high-intensity football. And they've just run out of puff. Oh, mistake. Go on. Now hold the ball up. That's it. Nice. We don't need to do anything risky at this point in time. Timo Werner. I've heard that, Simon. I have heard that he was an FM player before he started managing. Interesting. Maybe there's hope for me yet. I think I would be an absolutely dreadful manager in real life. My players would hate me. Oh boy. My expectations of them are way too high. They would absolutely hate me. It's unfortunate for Harry Kane going off to Bayern to win trophies. So not quite panned out as he wanted it to. Very unfortunate. I wonder what Spurs would have been like, though, had he stayed. If he'd stayed, he'd have been moody. Not quite sure staying was the right thing for Spurs. Of course, we still have football left to be played. And there is actually only 2 months before they start playing again in the Premier League. But there is the case of the cup final. And I'm going to put it out there. Who's going to win the cup final? Might be interesting to see the feedback here. Let's do I've got a funny feeling how this is going to turn out. But we shall see. I'm not allowed to vote here, unfortunately. A team from Manchester. It's level at the moment. City just gone ahead, United back in it. It's not the 100% City that I was expecting. It could just be United could spring a surprise. I don't know. How much do United want to spring this surprise? I don't know. Yeah, no, not voting for any of them. It is, Stuart, I agree. I'm a Man United fan, but it's very hard to look past City for this. They're just relentless. And United are dire. But we've given Liverpool very tough games. And if we can kind of produce that kind of effort, then we have got a chance. So we've got to just up the game to the games we played against Liverpool. We've given Liverpool tough fixed games this year, and we need that kind of performance. Stuart. Ah, boy. So we are now 3-0 up here. It's time to make some changes, I think, before this team get worn out. I think I need to rest Son. Brennan Johnson, he can play up top. Werner is not playing very well and probably needs a rest. He's been injured. So we will bring on... I'm going to play Sessegnon on the wing. Why not? We're 3-0 up now. Udogie probably needs a little break. So I'm actually might put Van de Ven out on the wing and bring on Dragusin. We'll leave it at that for now. So the poll turns out that 75% say that City will win the cup. Oh, well, that's probably about right. So the 25% extreme optimists. Oh no, we've got another City vote now. And then, of course, there's the Euros to follow, with the England team feeling very optimistic. Can England win the Euros is the other thing. So there's going to be plenty of football still before the new season begins. Can England win it? Gareth Southgate's record isn't something that would lead me to believe that they will win it. They are a very strong team. You have to say England have got a very strong team. But can they win it under his management style? I don't know. The problem that I feel with Southgate is that he doesn't play Premier League style football. He plays European style football, which plays into the hands of the opposition. And if he got them to play Premier League style football, I think we would, well, I say we, of course I'm not English, but I think they would have a chance. Very difficult one. One in midfield, Maddison probably. Let's give Skip a game. This brings Neves into the... And let's see this game out. Now we don't need to do anything. We will start winding it down. Don't need to go quickly. Pull the line back a little bit. Just start winding it down now. A very firm no, they won't win the Euros, Andy. So who do you guys think will win the Euros? Yeah, no, Stuart, that's what I'm saying. I think they need to play more like Premier League players rather than continental players. And I think that they'd be extremely dangerous, them. And while all this is going on, we've gone 4-0 up here, which is quite interesting. But yeah, play like the players play in the Premier League, and then they might have a chance. With the high press, the high tempo, passing the ball around, pass and move, high energy. And the European teams don't want to play like that. But we have adopted a European approach internationally, and that's not playing into our hands. Well, we've blown Forest away here. Son, 2 goals. Kulusevski and Romero. Blown him away. And that puts us into the Champions League. A lot of it, Callum, I think you're right, is fear. There's a part of the English setup which is around fear. And they have this fear when they play bigger teams. And so they're not quite as aggressive against them. I don't think they're going to win it, but they again might surprise me. They do have some very, very good players in the team. What was that? I thought that was coming that way, but it went behind. So 4-0, we'll take this against Forest, 4-0. We can even make it 5 at this rate. So looking at that midfield presence, which is, I think 3 in midfield is suiting this team better. There's a very, very good midfield presence in there. Can't substitute anybody now, can I? We'll just see this out. We don't need to make changes now. They've only had a 5-minute spell. We just need to see this out now. And that's it, full time. We have got ourselves into the Champions League. Absolutely brilliant. We have qualified. Aston Villa can now no longer catch us. Actually, I mean, if... oh, the budget's 67.5 million plus 90 million for Son. Wouldn't be a bad transfer window. Where did it all go wrong? This was poor at the beginning, but then that streak was extremely good. kind of fell apart here. I remember tearing my hair out here, especially here. It was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Those two results, not great, but since we've gone to a 4-3-3, that's as good as it gets at the end of the season. And finally, we will take on Bournemouth. It is possible, Stuart. It is possible. It's don't know. You think that the referees at international level don't like players being aggressive? Two years ahead of schedule. Marvellous. Sheffield United beat Villa. So that's it. Job complete. Last game of the season. I'm actually quite pleased with how they've gone since we went to the 4-3-3, and these three get 3 wins on the trot. Why they've suddenly started to play again, I don't know. But we'll take it. Bournemouth won't be easy, but I'm going to rotate the team for this anyway. I think we should be giving some of the other boys a day off now. A defeat, it doesn't matter. I honestly don't know, and I'm honestly hoping that it will be perhaps an outsider. I know I'm an underdog. I do love an underdog. But yeah, it's really hard to call. I would say France would be high up on my list. England, of course, England probably have the best players throughout the team. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, to be perfectly frank. But I'd like it to be an underdog this year. How much of it I will see, of course, because I will be on the other side of the world during the time it's being played. And I think the games will be 2 in the morning, so I don't think I'll be seeing many of them. But I guess I'm going to try and watch as many as I can. One of the things for the vlog might be to go and find a sports bar and to watch one of the games in a sports bar somewhere. Although it depends when it is, because I'm not going to find sports bars. Although I might. In Saigon, I'm more likely to find them in the Philippines. He doesn't want to rotate. Okay, let's not rotate then. Let's send the boys out. I don't. So my answer to that, Callum, is I don't know. I think France have got a chance. I think England have got a chance. Germany, possibly. I'd go with France. If you want to pin me down, I'm going to say France. I don't know why, but that if you're going to pin me down, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say France. And so, who's on the bench here? Yeah, that's fine. Let's. We've got nothing riding on this. We'll send them out as per this. Yeah, if you're gonna force me into a corner, Callum, I'm gonna say France. I mean, I think these boys need to get out there on a winning streak. But we'll just let it go, because I'm not all that bothered if we lose, because we have achieved the objectives. We can't get into third place, so it really doesn't matter how this game plays out. Bournemouth have got nothing to play for. We just let FM play this one out and see what FM comes up with. Thanks, Callum. Sometimes this was not easy. When the game stopped, all the instructions from working, it wasn't easy. I did say at the time, when I was going through that miserable patch, and my misery was evident for everyone to see, I did say, at those times, you've just got to not lose. It's so important that you don't lose. And all those draws that we got now possibly have helped us. Is that offside? I'm not sure it was. Oh, it was offside. I thought he'd come from a deep position, but I was wrong. Oh, lordy, lordy, that is close. And is FM going to finish us with a defeat? Is it going to try and make me work really hard for this one final game, or is it going to give it to me? Not like that, it isn't. He went a long way there, didn't he, Clivert? Is he that pacey? We just didn't get stuck into him, did we? I think we've got to tackle him. Senesi is the most dangerous player, but he might be their we're going to close him down anyway. I don't think I have to worry too much at this point in time. We're not playing very well, that's clear to see. Maddison is the most dangerous player again. I'm not sure there will be another update, to be honest, Stuart. I think they're done now. I don't remember another update after this last year. Oh, Maddison's injured, is he? He's alright though. He's got better. I think that's it for updates. I'm not sure, unless people disagree with me. I don't remember one last year after this point, after May coming to June. Promotion season 1, season 2, finished 14th. Well, that's still pretty good. The higher up the leagues you go, the harder it gets. I know I'm extremely hard on myself, and I have standards which I want my teams to play to, and I'm very hard on myself. But at the end of the day, when you come to the the end of the season, then you've just got to judge it at the end of the season, and top 4 is what we asked for. And top 4 is what we've got. So all very level at this point, but I think we'll pull the half-time surprise on Bournemouth. Oh, nicely done. Sonze, go on, Sam. Yeah, I remember him doing that very recently against Manchester City. Through on goal, 1-on-1, and not being able to put it away. So, touch of realism from FM there. Yeah, I had a funny feeling this might happen. Now that we've won. Now that we've got through to the Champions League. We'll pull the half-time surprise. We'll shout at these boys. Clivert seems to be the issue. Again, there's another example of how poor dribbling is in the game. He just, like, one touch, his first touch in his dribble gave the ball away, and that's the opposition. I'm a little bit disappointed because they told me the dribbling was vastly improved. Not quite sure it is. I knew I should have rotated the team. I knew I should have done that. These guys are not focused at all, are they? Well, in all fairness, they've done what they're supposed to do, so still a win would be good on your final game of the season. Now, this time, Son. Finally. And I don't think he's offside for that one. So we are creating chances. We're still in this. It will be nice to finish the season winning all 3 games today. It will be nice. The games we should be winning, we shouldn't be thinking that they are games that we've done well to win. We should be winning against these 3 teams. But it just always will be nice. And we are looking like we're back in this game now. Oh, except for I forgot that we've got Timo Werner on the pitch. Oh, what a poor player he is in FM. I don't know if he's that much better in real life, but he looks better in real life than he does in FM. I don't really know what to do about this. Why are Bournemouth attacking us so much? I might do. Just going to pull the line back a little bit. I'm not going to get stuck in. I'm not sure why they are attacking us so much. They don't really have anything to play for. Are my lines in the wrong place? Is that what is happening here? They certainly are higher up the pitch than we are. And possession-wise, we've got all the possessions, so it's not making any sense to me at the moment. Yeah, he's never quite made it in English football, has he, Timo Werner? I mean, he's a good footballer, but he's just, English football is not his cup of tea. As we can clearly see. What was that? What is this right now? He's on the way down already. What? This is Timo Werner in FM. Goodness me. Oh, don't give it to him. That's it, give it back. I think he's got his pace is what he has, and how to use that pace. Oh God, this time it was Romero, was it? How to use that pace is the $100 million question, because his dribbling isn't that great, I don't think. So it's a question of how do you get him to use the pace without having him on the ball too much. That's probably the big question that's got to be answered. I think if you can get balls over the top and allow him to run on to balls over the top, then he could be decent. But it's playing him as an inside forward is never going to work, because I don't think his dribbling is very good. I don't know what his dribbling score is in FM. Just 12. And I guess, and I'm going to say that that's probably about right for real life. They probably got that right. His dribbling isn't brilliant. And his first touch lets him down a lot. So you don't want him on the ball, but you do want to exploit the pace that he has. It's just a conundrum for a manager. Well, at the moment, this game is petering out to what looks like a draw. So I'm wondering if I should just go a little bit more attacking in the second half, give them more of a game. Good tackle. Who's that? Son. What's he given there? Is he given a penalty? That was a perfectly good tackle. The ball went that way. Yes, quite right, referee. It's not even a free kick. Kluivert is a bit of a nuisance, is he? It was nowhere near a free kick. That was a perfectly good tackle. Put on a real show out there. So let's think about how are we going to mix this up a little bit. Neves. We're going to push Neves forward. I'm going to put Sarr. Son can drift back. And we'll have Neves playing as the shadow striker. We're going to go at them in the second half. Be a little bit more positive. I'm going to push the line up, compress the space. I'm going to counter press them. Come off that. We're going to leave that. So we'll give it a shot. Just try and score some goals here in the second half. And then hopefully we will run out winners in this game as well. We've got to be a little bit more creative, I think. Without giving them too much space. Dreadful pass. Dreadful pass. Timo Werner 6.5. Oh dear, oh dear. The plan backfired. Is it going to be offside though? My plan backfired. Although, set piece, what can I do? Disallowed. So are we getting stuck in now? So I don't want to be getting stuck in at this point. Is that's closing down again, isn't it? So Van de Ven closed down less. And Udogi should be closed down less as well. That's getting too close, and we don't want to do that, boys. We can make some changes. I think these guys have their mind is not on 3 points here today. Their mind is in sunny Spain, getting on the plane and going off on a holiday. So we will make some changes. Again, it's up front. Although Christian Romero's not having his best game ever. Although he did well. No, that was Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro needs to stop tackling. Here's a breakaway. Can we take advantage of this now? Lovely pass. Come on, inside. Little ball across the box. You got this. Not to be. Come on, boys. One more goal. Pedro Porro. He keeps doing that of late. So we're going to tell him not to shoot. To be honest with you, Stu, I don't know who he's put on the bench. I just didn't check it because the job was already done, so I'm not sure who he's put on the bench. One of the interesting things is how much Bournemouth are pressing us back, causing us to defend deep. Much deeper than I want them to be. I have to try and figure that out. Why are Bournemouth able to do that? And it has got better since the counter press. So it could be that we just weren't pressing them enough. So it's got better. I need to get the ball to Sarr, so I'm going to focus our play up the middle. They are breaking forward quickly, aren't they? So they're counter-attacking. The centre mid, Scott was running through from midfield there, wasn't he? Is he playing centre mid or up front? Oh, I don't know this corner. Yeah, I think they're doing a new waterfall feature in the stadium. I think that's what they're trying to achieve there. Next manager for Manchester United. They've tried so many that I now firmly believe that I think Manchester United's problems are not the manager. And first off, Manchester United got to look at their scouting team, because the players they're bringing in are not Manchester United players. They don't have the mentality. They're players like old has-beens like Christian Eriksen, no offense meant, Mason Mount. They don't work hard enough for my liking. And Anthony has failed. And I think that they're going after the wrong players. And I think they need to certainly get their transfer policy right before they do anything else. I don't think you can blame Ten Hag. I think the players didn't work for him. Rashford has this good season and then he disappears. It's like, why? Pedro Porro's poor and on a yellow card. João Neves is not having his best game. Celso can come on. Timo Werner will be upset that he's been subbed after coming on as a sub. But if you don't put in the performances... Now they're doing this quite a lot, aren't they? So I'm going to instruct them to come off the press a little bit. Maybe that's what is causing the problem. We are pressing them too much. 1-1, I'll take 1-1 to be fair. Be much better to win, but keeping our unbeaten sequence will still be good. Oh, what a chance. Who was that? Kulusevski. What a chance. I mean, I was probably one of the only people who was a fan of Solskjaer. I really liked Solskjaer. He was a legend of the club. And I don't think his record has been any worse than any of the top managers they've brought in. So I was a fan of Solskjaer and not too happy with how he was treated, to be fair. Okay. Kulusevski missed an awesome chance there. Goalkeeper, not great. Kulusevski, not great. I've only got one more sub left, so we'll... A lot of the players for Manchester United, I'd just sell them. Funnily enough, though, I might be tempted to keep Harry Maguire. Just as somebody who would be a bench player. A squad player. He certainly... Oh, that was Van de Ven again. He certainly has put in good performances towards the end of the season. I don't think he's a great player, but I think he would be a good bench player. If they can sign Branthwaite, that would be a good deal. But I would get rid of Varane. I would get rid of probably Wan-Bissaka. I don't think he's a very good player. Too defensive for my liking. Big Sam possibly would be a good manager. They need to become more defensively solid. Defensively, United are absolutely outrageously bad. And that's because of the midfield signings that they've made. Eriksen is not a defensive midfielder, neither is Mason Mount. And everyone has been saying for years, we need defensive midfielders. And what did they do? They brought Casemiro in, who's on his last legs. And he's not the answer to the problems. You need someone who's going to grow into the club. And luckily they found Mainu. But I would like to see Mainu playing as a box-to-box player. That's how I would like to play Mainu. Because I think he's got the goal-scoring touch. He's got the ability to get into the box. Now, the other problem that you have then is that I think McTominay is more suited to being a volante. But you can't have those two in midfield being attacking midfield players. One of them has to be a pivot. And so that has to be addressed. I think McTominay would be a very good Segunda Volante. I think he's very aggressive about getting into the box. And he can score goals, but he can also defend. But you need to take most of his defensive responsibility away as a volante. So you need somebody really good at the back with tons of energy who's going to sit there and win the ball all day. And that's where we're falling down. And the other way to do it is to have a double pivot where you put two in front and have your wing backs being the attacking threat. But unfortunately, United's wing backs are not that much of an attacking threat. Although Dalot has improved, Wan-Bissaka has no attacking bones in his body at all. And that's, again, something they can't do because you don't have the personnel to do it. So they've got big problems, but I don't think it's the manager is the problem. I really don't think it's that you can actually blame the manager this time. The forwards have been very, very poor. Rashford poor, Anthony poor. Garnacho has run his socks off, but he's not that good a player yet. But he has run his socks off, bless him. But he keeps losing the ball. His judgment in the final third is lacking for this level. So it's desperate, basically. And Fernandes is too temperamental as to be captain. Way too temperamental. I think it's time to take a point now, because I don't like the way Bournemouth are playing. So let's go and take a point now. And we'll put a centre mid on attack there. We'll put Son back in as an advance forward. We've got one more substitution. Bissouma is tired. Skip can come in here. And then close up the shop, I guess. Go back to balanced. slow it all down. We'll take a draw. And that's it. I might just pull the line back a little bit now. And we'll just try and see this game out now. I don't like the way Bournemouth are threatening our goal. Come on, let's get this goal, boys. What's happened here? Nothing. I thought the referee had stopped the game then. Yeah, that's it. Just hold the ball now. Hold the ball. Well, that was Van de Ven again. He makes some mistakes in FM. Nicely done, nicely done. Let's get the ball into the box. Not to be, just going to hold on to it. Don't give it to him. He worries me. Go on, keep going, keep going. Never going to win that at the back post. One, we'll take that. Unbeaten run continues. Sometimes you've just got to not lose. That's it. Season over. Yeah, I am disappointed. It didn't play very well. And so we have finished in fourth. We achieved our goals. And we have done the job that we wanted to do. And if we have a look at the end of the season, I'd say that's pretty good. Having been in that tough period, that I would say is pretty good. And that's where we changed to the 4-3-3. That's where we put more in midfield. And I think we've done pretty well. £32 million. Oh, come on, you can afford to give us a few more quid. And so that's it. We have done it. And we're going to next on Thursday. We are going to return to Brazil. And we are going to have some fun in the sun in Brazil. And see if we can't win the Libertadores there. The Champions League of South America. We have a team that's capable of doing it. And some of you probably have not seen Kumalo play. What a gem of a player he is. And if you haven't seen Kumalo play, come along and watch Kumalo play. Because he is an absolute gem. And hopefully we will see you on Thursday when we begin that quest. We do have the Paranense Cup, first of all, which we are expected to win. So I'm hoping that that will be another trophy in the cabinet right at the start of the season. So hopefully we will win 2 or 3 trophies next season. I'm really hopeful. I have to have a good transfer window. We need players coming in. Kumalo may go to Brentford, who knows. But he is someone I'm desperate to hold on to. So hopefully we will see you guys on Thursday. I'm going to finish my beer and have a hot pasty now, and then relax. So we'll be back on Thursday. And once again, thank you all for supporting the channel, guys. It means the world to me. Don't forget, if you haven't liked already, drop us a like before you leave. And we'll see you on Thursday. And our pasty, I do like Cornish pasty, Stuart. I'm not in Cornwall, though. I'm in Woking. But yes, I do like Cornish pasties. Got to say. And I like haggis as well, but I don't live in Scotland either. So thanks for coming, guys. Don't keep me from my pasty. Have a great night. And I'll see you all on Thursday. Good night, guys.